spy, espionage, government, conspiracy theory, cover up, one man against machine type things. It's very compelling. It's also sort of a mystery to be solved episode to episode. And you're right, whereas 24 had a literal clock going, the stakes are very high in terms of there being like a time pressure element to the night agent as well. And it's very compelling TV to watch our hero, try to figure things out, when you're watching the gears turn in his mind as he's putting puzzle pieces together. I was a fan of the first season. I was a fan of 24 as well. And I actually got to do for Fox literally 10 years ago. They tried to resurrect the 24 franchise, and we did a season called 24 Legacy. And I was in that one. So I got to have a taste of that franchise. And then, like you said, 10 years later, here we are doing Night Agent. And it has been an out of the gate global smash for the streaming service. I mean, even listen, we're talking on February 4th. It came out January 23rd. It's still number one in a number of different countries. It's still number one in the US. And I think at one point it was number one in over 100 countries. So it has an audience. It has an excited audience. And I was just thrilled to be a part of it. And I loved episodes 1 and 2. I got to shoot in Thailand. The company went to Thailand for 10 days to open the series. If you haven't seen it yet, Thailand looks amazing on film. And then we switch gears and we shoot the remainder of the series in New York City. And like you said, I'm in episodes 1 and 2, which really kick the whole thing off. And it's been an awesome thing for me. I'm very excited.
And tell me, Warren Stocker, what type of guy is this guy? Is he, dare I say, is he, we have a two-faced kind? Is he a bit of a heads and tails? Or you don't know what side? Or is he a guy that is all about looking after number one and trying to keep his neck above water?
Yeah, I think listen, Warren's a CIA agent who has made the ill-fated decision to leak sensitive information. He becomes what's the word I'm looking for? A sympathetic character because you get to understand why he did it. He's a man who would do anything for his family and just tries to execute very ill-conceived plans in the process and has a number of run-ins physical. He has two very big fights with Gabriel Basso. And if you watch the first season, this is a guy who is a very precise fighter. I mean, in his personal life, he enjoys fighting. He enjoys sparring. Like he's a military background in real life. Gabriel, he's impeccably well trained physically, and so I just didn't. I just was just hoping not to get murdered by the guy, if I'm being honest with you, because he's much younger than me. He's much more physically fit than me. But he's a guy who very quickly tries his best to elude a very fast and very smart main character in Peter Sutherland. So, yeah, man, it was yeah. I think Warren's story becomes clearer right when I don't want to give too much away, but right when you least expect, right when you least expect things. Let me put it that. It's so vague, and it's deliberately vague. But if you watch through the end of the second episode, you'll know what I'm talking about.
And are you an actor, Teddy, that likes to do your own sort of stunts, get very involved in the sort of scenes as well? And you mentioned action choreography. You mentioned about Gabriel Basso's sort of background and that. Coming into that, were you sort of right? Let's get stuck in whatever you want me to do, or was there any bit of hesitation, knowing what was the physical scenes that you were going to be brought into?
I mean, I certainly had hesitation. And I'm a big believer in doing as much of the stunts as I can because I think it's good for the audience to see their actors engaged that way. But I don't have any kind of attachment to doing all the stunts like, famously Tom Cruise or Harrison Ford during Indiana Jones. Like, I'm very happy to have a stuntman come in and execute these scenes, which are highly technical, almost balletic in their movements. I'm very keen to step aside and let a pro do it. But there's absolutely moments where it has to be me. Certain camera setups, certain close-ups, etc. It is a lot of fun, but I absolutely want to stay engaged. But if I'm not going to be able to do it as well as a stunt professional, I'm going to step aside and let them, because really it's about telling the story as accurately and with entertainment value to boot. And no one wants to see me flail through a highly technical fight when there's a perfectly competent professional who can do pieces of the movements that I just can't do and can't execute like they can. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. I love to do it. It's sort of like, I don't know, it's almost like being a kid, running around in the yard with my siblings or with my friends, playing these games. I get to do it in real life. But yeah, if there's something I can't pull off, I'm more than happy to let the pros do it. I just want to help tell a good story. I just want a story to be entertaining and to be as accurate as possible.
And Teddy, how did this opportunity arrive at your doorstep? Was it the usual submit a tape, talent agent, sort of role
Yep.
manager, wait back for the
Yep.
call back? Or is there an interesting story behind this, or is there an interesting story about how you heard the news, for example, that you got it?
Yeah, well, no, I wish I had a cooler story, but it was exactly what you said. It was an audition. It came into my inbox. It was from my talent agent. Hey, I have an audition for the night agent. But this is my first audition back. There was a lengthy actor strike in here in America in 2023. The strike ended in November. This was like I said, the first audition I had back. I hadn't auditioned for anything in roughly, what was it, 6, 7 months, and I did my best. I just thought, well, this is the first one back. I'm not gonna get it. It's a very popular show, but I'm gonna do my best. And fortunately, they picked me. And I heard the news. I was like, I went to the dentist. I had my like a cleaning. I came out of the dentist and I had a voicemail on my phone where my phone was like off for the 1 hour I was in the appointment. I came out. I was like, oh man, agent's calling. It's either great news or I'm getting dropped. I'm getting fired. And that's when he said, essentially, you got it, and pack your bags and make sure your passport's current because you're going to go to Thailand next month. So and that was a great way to start 2024 and to end a strike. That was a really great. I have a small child, and it's nice to have some visibility into what the future looks like, and having a job in the future always it's always a very exciting thing as an actor. You
Mentioned
like having something to chew on. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned there it's almost like you're saying it's almost 50-50 when the agent calls that
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
taking.
It's either good
Is
news or
it good or
terrible.
bad? It's never anything
Yeah,
else. It's
right,
that life of an
exactly.
actor. It's either good
Yeah,
news or bad news, or there's no
yeah.
sort of hello or chit chat involved in it.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've been at it long enough that I was confident that it wasn't going to be. You just never know. You just never know. And coming out of a strike, it's been good. But it's also it's been a weird slash difficult time to be a professional actor. The COVID year was difficult for everybody. And then, just as we're getting back on our feet, there's a protracted strike. And then yeah, so listen, all bets are off. I'm just very grateful that this one came my way. And then, like I said, we shot it. I don't know if I said shot it. Yeah, in January of last year, and so a year later, it finally comes out. And that's the other thing too is when we shoot something that we're really excited or proud about, the job can't be aired soon enough. So I was just like, oh boy, everyone was like, when's this going to come out? This was such a popular show. Are we going to see it in 2024? And then, of course, it drops in very early 2025 where we are now, and it was worth waiting for.
Mm. And
Yeah.
I suppose, Teddy, in terms of other opportunities come our way, we spoke a little bit before we came on air, and you mentioned about another show that you're currently involved in that might be coming our way, no doubt later in 2025 is something to keep an eye out for, and keep an eye out for the name of Teddy Sears attached to this. What's this show, Teddy, and what should we be keeping our eyes out for in terms of our streaming platforms, our TV channels, in terms of looking out for this show that we could also see you in?
Yeah, the name of the series is called Brilliant Minds. Here in America, it's aired on NBC, live on NBC. Then the next day, it's been live on Peacock. So if you have those streamers, I know it started to air in Sweden very recently. It's been in Latin America, so it's beginning to be rolled out into different territories. It is, in essence, a medical or hospital drama with a central character, not unlike the character from House. I don't know if you ever saw that. Very sort of quirky and offbeat.